being patient more or less than anything, understanding that everything doesn't just happen the way you just always plan it to happen, but always have that mindset or it's going to happen.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another video of Tea Time with Letitia on Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. Today's tea is my wellness blend, so I decided to bring the loose leaf for y'all to see. It is a mix of lemongrass, chaparral, blue vervain. I think it's like something else in here too. But I've talked about this in previous videos, and it's just great for if you feel like you may have a little sore throat, a little itch, or I don't know, you just feel like you need to get some wellness. Just drink this tea. I drink it at least like once a month, just to keep myself nice, because I ain't got time to be getting sick out here. Not with all this other stuff going on. And with that, I'm going to let today's guest introduce himself.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Golston from Mobile, Alabama. Thank you for having me, Letitia.
You are very welcome. So what high school did you go to?
I went to Murphy High School.
Yes, go Panthers.
Oh yeah, day 2010.
So where did you go for undergrad?
I started off at South Alabama, where I played football. And I transferred from there and went to Jackson State, and that's where I graduated from.
Okay, and so you were an athlete as well as a student.
Yeah, that was a pretty, that was a pretty fun adventure. Just to, think back on, just as much as trying to incorporate your real life and try to be a student and be an athlete. So it was fun. It helped me.
What did you study as a student?
I started off with sports science in South Alabama, which helped me learn about the whole body. I took psychology, different things like that. That kind of helped me move on to when I went to Jackson State, which it was a little switch up of the curriculum and stuff like that. So it was, it wasn't really hard to transition, but it was definitely different, which it was a interdisciplinary studies, which is more like a broad, I guess you could say, different, topics of, it came from business, there were different science, all kind of different little things that they tied it into one at Jackson State. I never, just personally heard of it before until I went to Jackson State. So that was different.
That sounds really interesting. So you're saying that you took classes in business and psychology, and so you just took a broad range of classes in this interdisciplinary.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a science degree too, because that's what it at the bottom is. It's a Bachelor of Science. So I really don't. It's kind of more or less when you look it up online, you can kind of. It'll show you a whole bunch of different things that you can do with it. So it can be beneficial. It depends on your lane, your skill set, and what you personally want to do with yourself. So it really depends on you. If you're not on a corporation, if you're not trying to do nothing that has to do with a corporation or something like that,
So what ultimately did your skill or your lane become then? How are you using that degree?
I right now just more or less work on houses. That just helped me out with a different skills. Football helped me out with the skill set that I'm working with now, because school helped me out with the people skills, the social, the confidence, able to speak to different people, taking public speaking helped me able to talk to people out in public when conducting business and different things like that. So it made me much easier to be able to perform my jobs too when I was able to do them like by myself, because we do all kind of demos. We'll tear down a house, we'll tear down a trailer home, we'll tear down a shed, and then we'll build it, and then we'll pretty much put like paint, cut the yards. It's pretty broad. So it's like working on foreclosed homes. So it's really nonstop. It's been a blessing, to be honest, because we been watching the pandemic, to be honest, because I watched it unfold in front of it. We never stopped working. So that was really the blessing about the whole this being in this kind of job here. It's nothing that really was taught in school, you know. It's just really every time I go to work, it's always something new. So I never really just I love it because it kind of reminds me of football, because you never kind of just go into it like thinking about the same thing. You kind of just come in there with a clear mind and just work on just getting better. That's pretty much always my goal anyway. So that pretty much helps me out.
Gotcha. So you mentioned that while you were in school, you got skills on public speaking and building your network and talking to people and things like that. And that has really helped with your current job.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more just about like how you went about building those skills?
It's really more or less like starting off, well, I guess in that classroom set, because I was in South Alabama, where I did take the public speaking part, because I was at like my freshman, sophomore year. And that pretty much just opened me up when being in the classroom set with different peers, just being able to be open and communicate without, you know, being so nervous and not wanting to speak, and actually being able to express yourself and not, you know, and get people to actually understand what you're saying. So that pretty much helped a lot. Just standing up there in front of those people, you know, just getting people to watch you, and just we're playing football too. Is you see 1,000 people watch you, so it's kind of just like it weighs in, everything weighs in. You know, I always balance it out. It's a balance, you know.
Yeah, when you mentioned the whole like speaking versus playing football, it made me think about how I sing and I also used to dance. And if I had to choose between which one I'd be more comfortable doing, honestly, I'd rather dance than sing, because I don't know, it's just something about me like using my voice in front of people that gets my nerves.
But I know that'll be probably funny for some people, because, you know, using your voice may be easier than, you know, using your body. So, you know, it depends on, it goes hand in hand, like you said, you know, depends on what you like and, you know, what you feel comfortable doing.
So what was like the most valuable skill that you learned?
Being patient, more or less than anything, understanding that everything doesn't just happen the way you just always plan it to happen, but always have that mindset, or it's gonna happen. You know, you always keep that mindset that you're gonna make it happen, but it's not may not happen right now. Couple years, 5, 10 years. It's just more or less patience is what I learned, and understanding, because a lot of people are different. You got to understand people got different mindsets, so you can't really just make somebody understand you or make somebody have your point of view. So just kind of just stay in my lane, understanding people, being quiet, listen, you know, things like that. That's pretty much little things like that that help me out.
Oh man, that is a gem right there. For me, like when you said patience, what immediately popped into my brain is like trusting in the process. And like when you're saying it may not happen now, it may happen 5 to 10 years later, like, oh, that is until you
more or less than anything, it's really you know, all those words sum up into God, really, because you just trust him and everything else is gonna go, you know, according, because that's really, I like football. I had my ups and downs, just going to this school, going to that school, wanting to go to the league, didn't go to the league. So it's kind of like you don't get frustrated, but you kind of be like understandable, you know, you understand your role, what you got to do, and now, you know.
You said a number of other things after you said patience. You said understanding. You said being in your lane. Trying to think, I had made another like
just probably just understanding your process, like just you gotta. I know everybody have their own way of thinking, the way they process, the way they want things to happen. So I know with me, I was more or less just trying to force things instead of just letting things just come to me freely, like it's supposed to. Because when I force things, that it probably wasn't meant right then. You gotta just kind of just understand what's going on. Instead of trying to do, what you want to do, but it's not always, about you personally. You gotta understand the whole grand scheme of things.
right. Having that understanding of other people and where you fit into the situation, and like you said, the grand scheme of things that's so much bigger than you as an individual and what you want to make happen in that specific moment. So yeah, I definitely agree that that is a very important part of getting through, your educational journey, your educational career, is being able to be patient, being able to trust in the process, being able to, if you believe in God, being able to trust in whomever your higher being is and whoever you believe in is all very important. I actually have a conversation with someone else about allowing for your spirituality or your religious beliefs to guide you through the educational process, because in the sciences, people think that scientists and believing in God don't go hand in hand, when in fact they do.
Yeah, that's always, one of the sensitive topics: religion, spirituality. People kind of, shell up when it comes into that, which is very understandable because it's more of a private thing. It's private, when you think about it, because nobody knows your prayers, and you don't necessarily just express it just freely, like when you do it to yourself. So it's definitely understandable, and something that I know that I don't really just you know touch everybody about it, because I understand that it is a touchy situation, topic, but I definitely will stay strong to my beliefs and understanding, but I definitely respect everybody else's too.
Right, yes. So do you have any advice or tips that you would like to share with people who are going to school, people who are starting undergraduate school, or, any information or tips in the process?
As far as with the world we're living in now, it's just kind of just understanding what jobs are important and what's going to be here in the long run and stuff like that. Instead of, I know I definitely would encourage everybody to figure out their niche to see if they can start their own business, because that will create generational wealth, because that's pretty much the path that I'm working on now, since I understand and know better for myself and my family. That's really like my next step is to like create generational wealth for my kids and their grandkids. So that's pretty much my biggest tip, is to find something that you're very passionate about and something that helps you along the way too. Because don't get me wrong, it's not gonna happen that time. It's just more or less just finding something that generates income for you to get to your next step. That's pretty much my biggest thing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your words of wisdom and your knowledge with us.
I appreciate you so much, Letitia. That was great.